You know you're hooked when you're cleaning parts and it's not even out of the truck. This Wadkin setting gauge is actually a really little nice piece of work, let me tell you. It's got a light table, and so you know, there was a piece of masonite over that with some white plastic, and it allows you to see how close this little thing just touches that. I'll have to make some shafts, but there's a little scale here. These are your cutting circles, as far as I can tell, but I'd be interested with any of the molding guys have to say. This, of course, can be unlocked and slid back, but there's the switch. Friggin' cool. Well, I gotta wait for Bondo to dry. I might as well just twiddle my thumbs. Anybody that's working with cast iron, and especially letters that you're trying to smooth out, here I've done Bondo work and stuff, but usually what happens in around casting letters is the sand particles deteriorate, and these castings can be pretty raunchy. What I mean is you can smooth out as much as you want of the body here, but you'll always see the transition of the surface. So what I use in those areas is a filler primer. This is like a sanding primer, and it builds really heavy. It's a high solids, and so you just flood this area so that you get a more perfect transition between the casted letters and the body. Last coat. I think it's pretty much flawless. Hard to get this cast iron to where you want it. Anyway, time to put it in the oven and bake it this afternoon. We'll see how it turned out. You know, when you're working on old machinery, it's pretty knackered. This stuff's from the, well, it's almost 70, 80 years old. These are little bearing blocks. They've been knackered a little bit, and I'll clean them up. I'll actually have to manufacture that one again, but I find it's just a little nicer to sort of clean them up a little bit, and it sure makes a difference, you know. At least a perception of you took care of your tool, you know. And so I'll dress the face like I did on these. Here's a quick little tip on how to tape off machine letters that you want to spray. I like sprayed high gloss red, and I like my lettering right to the base. Now, it's almost impossible to try to tape this sort of detail off, especially at this scale. But what I do like to use is a bit of malamine, and of course Richardson's 100 bucks of 0.012 inch razors. They're nice and cheap. Okay, and what you do is you can simply make yourself some close radiuses that you can fit to the piece. Now here I finally made one to fit around the D, so let me show you how easy that is. So now you can just come in, finish off your little detail, and then I use the eraser to push it down. See, now that's what I'm talking about. Matte finish, high gloss, Wadkin lettering. I gotta touch it up just ever so slightly with an artist brush. But that is most certainly better than factory. We've got a sheen on this of semi-gloss, and I always do my letters in gloss red. Fire Red by Trimclad, no less. It's probably not the original Wadkin color, but I'm going to have to say it's pretty close. These little tiny ones here, pretty hard to cut around, but hey, the tape method, it's killer. Might take you a while, but look at the results. Quick little tip on when you're painting cast iron and it has bore holes that you don't want the paint to go in. The easiest way to deal with those and masking them off is I use my old sandpaper. And all you're going to do is you're going to roll it towards the grit because it's kind of gritty. And you've always got some old sandpaper. Then you can just stick that in the borehole and it'll uncoil itself and protect your boreholes. Now you can spray it. You can even run a wire, through this and hang it for spraying. The next bit of advice is don't clean your fasteners and leave them in the hole. Spray everything, undo them, and then just throw them in a bucket of lacquer thinner and the paint will just fall off of them. That'll protect all the threads and everything, and you won't lose your hardware.